Alright YouTube, I organized my workbench a little bit. What I did is I finally got myself a vise. Not a huge one, small one from Harbor Freight. These were going on clearance for like 29 bucks. So I figured I could use one for working on wood, metal, just small stuff around the garage. So if you're looking for the specific model, it's this number. Item 59114. So, got some bolts, some lag bolts. I have an idea how I'm going to mount it to the table here. So I got a bunch of bolts and a couple of lag bolts. So my idea so far is I'm going to take only one of these lag bolts, since I have some screws on this side on an L bracket, and then on this side as well. I'm going to shoot one of these 4-inch lag bolts into here, so that'll secure nicely to this 2x6, and then the rest of the stuff I'll just have regular bolts through with nut lock washers on the nuts or on the bolts and washer on the bottom. So yeah, we'll get that going. Say these bolts and stuff should be good enough for the work I do. I don't do a ton of metal fab and work, and even the small stuff I do, this will be more than sufficient. It's really going to be more nice to have like the solid anvil surface with proper mount, so I'm not just banging into this cheap wood here. So we'll see how she goes. She's mounted. Got that lag bolt all the way down in there. Got this bolt with the lock washer. Actually conveniently drilled a hole through the metal bracket, so it actually secures this stuff a bit better. Over here at just in the plywood, not as much secure, but similar. Actually sent it a little too hard. You can see the lock washer started to slip a little bit, but that should hold it just fine. If I pull it out here, I have enough room to swing it around all the way. You know, clamp it down that direction, and then I can rotate. I can actually even just barely on this end too. So just about perfect with how it's orientated. So should be good. Should be fun to use now. So I took a grinder and sharpened up those bolts so they weren't super obtrusive. But yeah, probably the next upgrade in this garage is a couple of toolboxes there and there, or potentially one on each side. So yeah, I don't know, time will tell when I can afford to actually get those. So alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'm not sure what else will be in this vlog video, but I'm sure I'll come up with something. What's up YouTube? It's Faints Bullock here. I'm working on the side-by-side again. So what I'm working on today is seeing if I can turn this winch plate bracket and piece of steel into a chainsaw mount on the side-by-side. So plan is to take this mount, mount it somewhere like this, then run some bolts through the other side. So bolt it to the top to these holes, and then bolt it this way with the other plate so it kind of clamps the chainsaw blade in place, and then kind of just sit in here like that. So I have some wing nuts and I have some carpeting with some double-sided tape that I'm going to put on the inside so that it should, you know, keep the blade not from just resting on metal and bouncing around. So we'll see how all that goes. Alright, my dad came over. He had some better ideas on how to mount it. We're actually not using this plate. We're going to be we actually used a different way. We did use some of these bolts. So this is basically what we came up with. Let me get a light on here. So basically we drilled a hole through the bracket here, put a bolt and a wing nut through it. That should hold that little plastic piece, and then we trimmed down the chain guard for this specific saw and kind of tucked it in there with a couple self-drilling screws, and so it kind of keeps it more secure inside there. And then run a bungee cord around just to keep it tight, so it's you know, it moves around a little bit, but as far as stability is concerned, it should work for our purposes. So yeah, that's how we ended up accomplishing that. And it kind of sits a little bit better because it actually sits flat down on here, and it's not a ton more weight with the bracket on this side. So I can actually return some of those parts. I don't really need them. So yeah, we'll see how that actually, you know, holds up on the trail and whatnot later this season, but time will tell. I already finally got around to organizing the garage a little bit. After I got the vise in, I put together that this shelving unit a little bit with a piece of plywood or particle board. Nothing crazy, but it keeps stuff a bit organized. Got a new heater. I don't know if I showed you guys that. Propane one, basic, you know, propane heater. My dad actually came over today and he brought me some chains, and we were able to hang up this shop light with a couple nails up there. So now, you know, when I stand here, I don't have the light behind me. I'm eventually going to run a plug for this, but basically just got to plug this thing in. Let these guys warm up a little bit, but yeah, now don't have quite nearly as bad of a situation here. So yeah, I also got some new GoPro equipment and got this roll bar mount I want to try out on the side-by-side, so I can get some better reviews and whatnot, shots while I'm riding this season. So I got quite a few trips planned already for this year, so we'll see if we can mount it on the roll bar somewhere. Be interesting how to figure that out. At this angle now too, which might be kind of interesting. Maybe I'll angle it down a little more. Theoretically, that should look pretty decent. Shine a light over there. So yeah, I'd say during the daytime that'll look pretty decent. Maybe I could set the camera lens a little more zoomed in, but other than that, it doesn't look too bad. Instead of the super view, this is the wide view. So it's a bit more narrow. Might be what I'm more looking for. Let's try another narrower view. This is the linear view, also 4K as the other two. So I'm gonna look on the computer, See which ones look probably better than others, but I'm kind of digging that whole style, so we'll see how she goes. Well, today we're going to be doing a slightly different video about fixing my washing machine. So let's see if we can get this bad boy fixed. So basically I'm replacing this big part here, the main hub that bolts to the drum here. This was the old hub that we had to hammer out. Pretty rusted, corroded, crappy. So we'll see if I can get all this squared away today. I basically bought a new hub, a couple new pieces, new nuts I needed for it, as well as some special ring. Also got a couple extra seals and spacers, but I don't think I'm going to need them because it's so rusted out on that it probably won't even fit on there. I'd break something before I fix it. So let's get going on this. Got this new plate. It is new, it's just crappy aluminum casting. So all these screws go into the bottom of that. Actually, let me flip it around for you. This is after I cleaned all this gunk out of here. So I might go through with some Clorox right now and just get anything I can see at the moment. Gonna get all these started by hand. Don't want to strip them out because it's just these screws into the plastic here. So, and I'll send them in with the drill and kind of torque them by hand. Back through, torquing by hand. That's about perfect. All right, let's see about getting this bad boy into here. Time to put the nut on, which this is a reverse thread nut. So to loosen it, you actually have to tighten it on a standard thread. Alright, let's grab a wrench, see if we can tighten it. Fortunately, this is the only kind of wrench I have. It's torqued. Let's get the agitator new mount on. In my case, it was a 7/16, so that's how it should all look put together. So, well, as far as I'm aware, maybe putting this together wrong, I don't know, but that's how it came out. So we'll see how it goes. So the agitator just pops in on top of that, and then this goes back on. I just need to figure out where exactly it goes back on. We'll figure this out. So these things just kind of, they have these clips on the outer drum that they clip into, and then these isolators will screw into those as well. So, and this goes here for the bleach dispenser. So I cut out a lot of the assembly because it's kind of just a pain in the butt to record and put in all these screws and little things. Align this. There's some clips you gotta align. So I just got that together. So I'm doing a test wash along with the cleaning agent down there. So excuse me. We'll see how the spin cycle works out. Let's fix the issue. So